In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 NFL games happening on January 11, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Chargers versus Houston Texans. This Saturday afternoon, the Los Angeles Chargers, boasting an impressive record of 11-6 overall, 12-5 against the spread, and 8-9 in over-under outcomes, will face off against the Houston Texans, who hold a respectable 10-7 record, 7-8-2 against the spread, and 6-10-1 over-under. This showdown will take place in the American Football Conference Wildcard playoff at NRG Stadium. The Chargers capped off their regular season with a significant win against the Raiders, demonstrating their resilience and determination. On the other hand, the Texans entered the playoffs following a victory over the Titans, which secured their 10-7 mark. Notably, the last time these two squads met was in 2022, a game the Chargers claimed with a 34-24 win. The question remains, can the Chargers clinch their first playoff victory since 2018? For the Chargers, optimism is at an all-time high as the team enters a promising new chapter. While Los Angeles still relies on many of its seasoned stars, including their rapidly developing quarterback Justin Herbert, this season has introduced a game-changing element: the leadership of head coach Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh, a prominent figure in football, has revitalized the Chargers after steering the Michigan Wolverines to their first championship win in nearly 4 decades. Under his guidance, the Chargers have transformed from a team known for self-sabotage into a disciplined and efficient force. The defensive unit has particularly excelled, allowing a league-best average of just 18 points per game. Meanwhile, the offense is firing on all cylinders, ranking in the top 10 for several passing statistics, such as 7.6 yards per pass, which places them 9th in the league. With a harmonious balance between offense and defense, the Chargers appear poised for postseason success. Interestingly, the Texans found themselves in a similar position last season to what the Chargers are experiencing now. Their rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud, captured the league's attention with his exceptional poise and raw talent, while a new head coach and a competent defense rebranded Houston as a team to watch. However, the Texans' performance this season has not mirrored their earlier success. While some metrics remain impressive, such as their ranking of 4th in opponent yards per play, other aspects of their game have faltered. Stroud's undeniable arm talent remains a highlight, yet the team has struggled to win pivotal games. Losses to formidable opponents like Minnesota, Kansas City, and Baltimore underscore this inconsistency, and even their narrow victory against Detroit was aided by the Lions' 5 turnovers. Despite their potential, the Texans have not been able to sustain their momentum. From a gambling perspective, the Texans have not been particularly deceptive. With a 7-8-2 against the spread record, their covers have primarily come against struggling teams like Tennessee, Dallas, and New England. In contrast, the Chargers have established themselves as one of the league's top teams for bettors, boasting an outstanding 12-5 against the spread record and an even more impressive 5-1 against the spread as a road favorite. Given Houston's underwhelming season, it seems unrealistic to expect a dramatic turnaround solely because of home field advantage on Saturday. The Los Angeles Chargers enter the wildcard round with unwavering confidence, bolstered by a 3-game winning streak. Their recent success on the road, where they've won 4 of their last 5 games, further enhances their prospects. Conversely, the Houston Texans, after a strong 5-1 start, stumbled through the latter part of the season, finishing with a middling 5-6 record in their final 11 games. Moreover, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has been in exceptional form, averaging a robust 260 passing yards over his last 5 games, including an impressive 284-yard performance against the playoff-bound Broncos. On the other hand, Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud has faced significant challenges, particularly due to the absence of key receivers like Dell and Diggs. Stroud has averaged just 210 passing yards in his last 5 games, excluding Week 18, where he only played 1 series. His struggles are further highlighted by 8 interceptions in his past 8 outings. While the Texans boast a solid defense, the Chargers excel in this area, allowing the fewest points in the NFL. Houston's reliance on passing in 59% of their play plays right into the hands of the Chargers' formidable pass defense, which limits opponents to an average of 206 passing yards per game. It's evident that the Chargers are the stronger team, and with Jim Harbaugh at the helm, they are likely to be more prepared than ever. So the Los Angeles Chargers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Saturday's American Football Conference wildcard clash between the Chargers and Texans is set to showcase two elite quarterbacks, but it might not be the high-scoring affair that some anticipate. Yes, Justin Herbert and C.J. Stroud are among the best in the business, but both will face formidable defenses in their playoff debuts. The Chargers' defense, one of the NFL's best, ranks in the top 5 across almost every key metric. They lead the league in opponent points per game, red zone touchdown rate, and touchdowns allowed per game. Additionally, their pass defense is exceptionally strong, ranking top 8 or better in interceptions, pass yards allowed, and sack rate, and second in opponent yards per pass at just 6.7. Stroud will have his work cut out for him against a defense of this caliber, especially since he hasn't faced them this season. The Texans' defense, though less consistent, has also been effective in many areas. While they struggle in the red zone, they excel in limiting opposing quarterbacks, boasting the league's lowest opponent completion rate. They rank second in interceptions, 6th in opponent passing yards per game, and 5th in opponent yards per pass. The Chargers lean on their rushing game, but it's unlikely that either defense will allow many explosive plays. The game total initially opened at 44 and has steadily trended downward, a movement we fully endorse. Despite the presence of highlight reel quarterbacks, the defensive prowess of these teams will dominate, slowing the game down significantly under the heightened pressure of postseason play. Both teams feature offenses that rank in the middle third of the league in scoring, capable of occasional outbursts, but more often leaning on their defensive strengths. The Chargers' recent performance exemplifies this trend, as they scored 34 points or more in their last 3 games, but were limited to just 17 points in each of the 3 preceding contests. Similarly, Houston's offense managed 23 points in their season finale, their highest output in a month, but has been held to under 20 points 5 times this season. On defense, both teams rank among the top third in yardage allowed, with the Chargers leading the league in scoring defense, while Houston has been slightly less consistent. Nevertheless, the Texans have a knack for creating sacks and interceptions in critical moments. With these defensive strengths in mind, it's no surprise that the under has hit in 19 of these teams' combined games this season. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Baltimore Ravens. On Saturday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens are set to clash for the final time this season in the third and last installment of their storied rivalry, which unfolds on Wildcard weekend. This highly anticipated showdown features the Steelers, who enter the game on a disappointing 4-game losing streak, as the 6th seed in the American Football Conference playoffs. Meanwhile, the Ravens, boasting a strong 12-5 record, arrive as the 3rd seed in the American Football Conference. Baltimore has been on an impressive roll, winning 4 consecutive games and securing the American Football Conference North title for the 2nd consecutive season, further solidifying their position as one of the conference's top contenders. The Steelers have faced significant struggles during their recent skid, which was most evident in their lackluster performance against a middling Cincinnati Bengals team. In that defeat, Pittsburgh managed a mere 16 first downs and only 193 total yards, a clear reflection of their offensive woes. Over their last 4 outings, the Steelers have failed to score more than 18 points in any game while conceding 27 or more points in 3 of those contests. Such performances underscore the challenges they face as they prepare to battle a Ravens team firing on all cylinders. On the other hand, Baltimore, during their last meeting with Pittsburgh, amassed an impressive 418 total yards and 25 first downs at home, giving them plenty of reasons to feel confident heading into this playoff encounter. With the Ravens scoring 31 or more points in each of their last 4 games while holding opponents to fewer than 18 points, they appear to have the upper hand. However, given the nature of this divisional rivalry and the high stakes of a postseason matchup, it's fair to say that past records may not be the ultimate deciding factor. The Pittsburgh Steelers are making their way south to Baltimore for this pivotal wild card matchup, marking the 3rd meeting between these 2 fierce division rivals this season. It's evident that these teams have been trending in opposite directions as the season has progressed. The Steelers are coming off 4 consecutive losses, while the Ravens have notched 4 straight victories. Nevertheless, this game has the potential to deviate from those trends, especially with Pittsburgh's history of success against Baltimore. The Steelers boast an 8-2 record in their last 10 meetings with the Ravens, which gives them a psychological edge. For Pittsburgh to stand a chance in this game, their primary focus must be on leveraging wide receiver George Pickens' talents while finding a way to slow down Baltimore's potent rushing attack. While everything seems to be falling into place for Baltimore, their quarterback Lamar Jackson has yet to deliver consistent brilliance in the postseason. The two-time MVP has a playoff record of just 2-4, accompanied by a modest 6-6 touchdown-to-interception ratio. Moreover, last year's wildcard victory against the Houston Texans marked the first instance of Jackson and the Ravens securing a double-digit win in the playoffs. Given this context, Baltimore will likely lean heavily on their ground game, a strategy that has served them well all season. However, Pittsburgh's defense is expected to counter by stacking the box and challenging Jackson to win the game with his passing. Historically, Jackson has struggled against the Steelers, holding a 3-5 record and an 8-9 touchdown-to-interception ratio in those matchups. The Ravens' dominant 17-point victory in Week 16 was a rare occurrence in this rivalry, as it marked the first time in 10 meetings that either team won by more than 10 points. This suggests that such a result was an anomaly rather than the norm. Pittsburgh will likely aim to feature George Pickens prominently in their offensive strategy this time around. Notably, Pickens was absent in their Week 18 game and had just one catch for 0 yards. However, earlier in the season, he put up an impressive performance against the Ravens, recording 89 yards, 8 receptions, and a touchdown. The betting spread for this matchup seems overly generous for a playoff game between two division foes who are intimately familiar with each other's strategies and tendencies. It's also important to note the uncertainty surrounding the availability of Baltimore's top receiver, Zay Flowers, who has racked up 1,059 yards and 4 touchdowns this season. Flowers has been sidelined from practice all week due to a knee injury, which could significantly impact Baltimore's offensive capabilities. While the Ravens appear to have the statistical and recent performance advantage, this is still an American Football Conference North clash where both teams have proven their ability to compete against each other. The season series was split 1-1, indicating Pittsburgh's capacity to hold their own against Baltimore. Additionally, it's worth highlighting that in the Ravens' Week 16 victory, George Pickens did not play. His presence in Pittsburgh's vertical offense adds a critical dimension that could make a meaningful difference in this contest. Despite the Ravens being favorites to advance to the divisional round, the spread of 10 points is far too steep for a rivalry of this magnitude. It's hard to pass up this many points in favor of the Steelers in such a high-stakes divisional matchup. Pittsburgh has been solid as an underdog this season, going 6-3 against the spread. I expect them to keep this game close or perhaps even achieve a backdoor cover, so the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The total points prediction aligns with my expectation that Pittsburgh will aim to make this game a defensive battle to maximize their chances of pulling off an upset. Over the last 4 weeks, the Steelers' offensive struggles have been glaring, as they've averaged just 14 points per game. In their 2 meetings with Baltimore this season, Pittsburgh managed to score only 17 and 16 points, respectively. While they might find more success through the air, the Steelers will need to establish their ground game to control the clock and limit the opportunities for Lamar Jackson and Baltimore's offense to take the field. This approach will also be pivotal for head coach Mike Tomlin, who is under scrutiny due to Pittsburgh's 4 consecutive playoff losses under his tenure. Expect Tomlin to devise an aggressive and innovative game plan to keep his team competitive. On the other side, the Ravens' offense has been dominant during their 4-game winning streak, averaging an impressive 34 points per game. However, Lamar Jackson's track record in the postseason and against the Steelers remains a concern. In 8 career starts against Pittsburgh, Jackson's Ravens have averaged just 21.5 points per game, and in 6 playoff appearances, Baltimore's offense has managed a meager 16 points per game. These figures indicate that an offensive explosion is unlikely until Jackson demonstrates greater consistency in high-pressure situations. Notably, with Jackson under center, the Ravens have yet to play in a postseason game that exceeded 44 points. Furthermore, 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone under the total points line. Defensively, both squads rank among the top 10 in the NFL, with each allowing no more than 21 points per game. Pittsburgh's defense is especially formidable on 3rd downs, ranking 2nd in the league at 35.3%, while Baltimore ranks 18th in the same category at 39.8%. In the red zone, Pittsburgh is 13th with a 54.1% success rate allowed, while Baltimore is slightly better at 12th with 54%. Offensively, both teams lean heavily on the run, with Baltimore running the ball on 51.51% of their plays and Pittsburgh following closely at 49.31%. Given the defensive strengths of both teams and the impact of Zay Flowers' potential absence on Baltimore's offense, it's reasonable to expect a low-scoring, hard-fought game. Pittsburgh's defense will likely play with intensity, knowing their playoff hopes hang in the balance. Ultimately, this game should see both teams scoring in the high teens, reinforcing the likelihood of a physical, defensive battle between these bitter rivals. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.